cherish all the time you spend, you tuned into. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned into. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting.
What's up, good people, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, Comedian 96, along with Freddie G, K Money, and Slash. Collectively, we are the Minded Men. I want everybody that's on YouTube to go out and subscribe and click the like button. Follow us on X at 52 Scott Podcast and on IG and Facebook at the 52 Scott Podcast. What's up, good people? Welcome back to another edition of Think Thursday. Today's topic is going to be about advice. The best advice that you have given or was given to you, or even worse advice. Even some advice somebody gave you, you're like, man, what the hell? Or girl, what the hell? We ain't going to just leave it to a man. What was you thinking about giving me that advice? And then on top of that, we're going to go over some AI reviews. They have some advice that, best advice, basically, that people can give you. And we just going to go over the list and debunk it. Or just say, you know what? Nah, that is some good advice. Because I looked over some of them and I'm like, I don't know why would AI would come up with this. But I came up with this topic because someone in my past gave me some great advice. And it's somebody on the podcast. And Freddie G, I don't know if you remember this. We were in the military. And you remember when we stationed in Coronado and you found out the dudes on the ship was bullying me and all that? And you got upset. He said, man, look. This is when you was drinking. He don't drink anymore. I got to let y'all know. He's been, how long you been sober now?
23 years.
23 years sober. Yeah. 23 years sober. But back when we were in the military, he told me, man, look. And he got upset with me. He said, why you letting these people bully me? Because what he didn't understand was I was finna get ready to go to Japan, and he still was going to be in San Diego. So the same dudes that was going to Japan with me, you wasn't going to be able to help me. So it was one of those situations, but he sat me down. He said, man, look, you ain't got to know how to fight. You just got to get off first. You just got to You just got to get off first. Now, he don't know how deep that was, because first of all, I knew how to fight. I took martial arts. I was third in the state, fifth in the nation. The problem was my karate teacher at the time taught me to pull punches. We were taught to pull. So whenever I had a fight, it would be more of a chokehold. The only fight I really had, I had a fight at Yates, but that was a chokehold. I didn't even throw no punches with him. I chokehold him and left and went to class. So had you told me that advice when I was taking martial arts, but I'm glad you told me afterwards, because I probably would have gotten shot or something. But had you told me that before, I probably would have been first in the state, first in the nation, because I was always I was more of a defensive fighter. I wait for you to make a mistake and I capitalize. I never attack first. Never, ever, ever, ever. So when he told me that, I became the best fighter ever, because I never did that and I never capitalized on it. But it helped me, because after I left San Diego, the fights increased, because now they knew I walked with y'all. They knew I was with you and Al and all y'all. So they ain't really bothered me. When I left Japan, it was just, when I left, San Diego and went to Japan, it was just me. So the attacks were often and frequent, but by the end, you had already told me what to do. So I won every fight. So thank you for that advice. I won. I may have had 20 fights after that, and I won every last one of them because of that advice.
You're welcome. And let me say, man, I don't fight no more. I want peace and love. I want peace and love. I don't want no trouble. But
that was.
I do remember that, man.
Yeah,
I do remember the bullying, and you were bullied by some Bloods or Crips.
They
that
were
was actually in the military.
In the military, yeah.
So to the listeners, that is true.
Yeah.
That's an actual true story. He was being bullied
Crips.
on the ship by some Crips who
Rolling
were in
60, rolling
who were
60.
in the military. And I did tell him, hey, you ain't got to know how to fight, but you hit that first one first and you get off on him, you going to be good.
You're going to be good. And it's exactly what I did.
And for those who know me, let me say this. I don't condone fighting no more. And I could fight coming up, but I was known to get off first. I'm going to always get my
yeah. And then he said, and it was so funny. I said, man, I never looked at fighting. I always looked at it as defensive because I don't want to start. I'm not a bully.
Right.
I don't want to start no fight. And I don't pick fights. So it was always, come on, man, go on. And then once you make that swing and you miss, that chin open, I'm going at it. That's how I fought. But I really liked it better getting out first because then the fight's over quick. Because sometimes people are good. They don't make mistakes.
Right.
And I got to wait a long time and take a couple punches before I can get off on mine. But let's go over this AI review, right? So they gave us a few advices and I said advices because it's quite a few of them. It's quite a few of them, right? And I want to know if y'all want to debunk it or would you say, you know what, I'm good with that. So the first one is follow your passion. Now, I know that would be your favorite one, Slash. Follow your passion.
That's one that I believe in. So if you know me, then you that I'm going to do what I like doing, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'll take that to my last day of breathing. I think I'll always do what I do because of the passion in it. So, yeah. I wouldn't debunk that.
I wouldn't debunk that one either.
Yeah,
I like that one. Okay, Money. Hey, what do you think, Freddie G?
No, I'm with it.
You with
I'm
this
with
one?
it,
Yeah. Here's another one. This is one of my favorites, and this is how I kind of live life. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah, I believe that's good.
Yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Treat others you want to be treated. I do unto others as I want others to do unto me.
That's in the Bible.
Yeah. And that's how I am. I want to be nice. When I introduce myself, I'm going to be nice. Don't be mean. I'm going to say good morning. Please say good morning back. Don't walk. If you're having a bad day, just have a bad day and say good morning and keep going.
If you think about what you said, it's not about them responding back. Mm-hmm. It's about you doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. So you do your part. Whatever they do after that is totally, it's not your fault.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
They going to make their choice, to not say it back or whatever the case is. So, yeah, you can't worry about them.
I agree, Slash.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
How about never stop learning?
I'm totally 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
110% in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm always reading something.
Yeah, that's true. You got to because the older you get, the more you need to know.
Yeah, you
and
got to keep up with time.
Yeah, because that's life's rule.
Yeah, true.
That's life's rule.
When I was in
learn something every day.
When I was in Japan, I was talking to this girl. She was at the time I think I was 20. I think she was the same age. We both were 20, and we went by this restaurant. It's a big building, man, different colors, and it had Japan has 3 different readings on 3 different writings. We have manuscript and cursive. Well, they had kanji, katakana, and hiragana. So they have 3 different writings. And I asked her to read that to me. And she speak English, but it was kind of a little broken. So she broke it down. She said, I'm not old enough to read that. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. You got to be a certain age. Like I'm 20, but someone needs to be like 40 to understand what that says. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's telling me in Japan, as the older you get, the more you learn, like literally. Yeah. Because she literally said, I cannot read it. I would have to be 40 because I guess the understanding is different.
I don't know how their education system goes out there, but, I'm sure it's much different from here in America. Mm-hmm. So she may have a point where we couldn't understand because I don't think it's nothing you could put in front of a person 20 and a person 40 here in America, that if you didn't have the same understanding, how do you not understand that?
Well, you know what? I feel that because it's all English language,
Right.
However, if your vocabulary is weak,
Right.
and your vocabulary is not that strong, then you can put a sentence together
That a person wouldn't understand.
because their vocabulary may not be that strong. So
maybe what she was saying was her vocabulary wasn't that far, as opposed to somebody being older, vocabulary is further. You see, that's not an excuse though.
well, I mean, I get it. So let's say if I walked on the block and I tell a dude, hey man, you got a cantankerous attitude.
Yeah. He gonna say what
What
the fuck does
is
that mean?
cantankerous?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Comedian 96 looked at me like,
Yes, I did. I'm like, he got a
He wouldn't
canker
know how to
sore? He
take
got
it.
a canker sore?
He wouldn't know if it was something positive or negative.
Or
if he
negative.
didn't
Yeah.
but so with that being said, maybe the
Yeah.
vocabulary is just not there.
That's true. I agree with that. Yeah, the vocabulary could be off because there are words in the thesaurus. Y'all know what a thesaurus is?
We know what a thesaurus is.
There are words in there that you've never seen before. And that book is huge.
Yeah.
Freddie G, enlighten us and let us know what cantankerous mean.
Yeah. Please,
angry,
let-
nasty. You
Oh,
know,
you got an angry. You got a,
You know, you got a kind of like an angry or mean spirited attitude.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Gotcha.
Okay, here's another one. Now, this is a good one, and I think there's nothing to debunk here. Take care of your mental health. That's a good one.
Yeah, you can't debunk
Yeah,
that.
that's great advice.
Yeah, that's great advice. Ain't nothing to even talk about there. Now, this one, possibly, because it depends on our age. To me, don't be afraid to take risk.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That it's good, but it's bad at the same time.
I mean,
Now, anybody want to agree
well,
with me?
Catch-22.
Yeah,
It depends on what you're risking.
Yeah, and that's true too. But I think, the younger we are, the more riskier
There's
we will be.
a difference between being afraid to take risk or taking a dumb risk.
a dumb risk. Yes,
It's a difference.
Because jumping off a cliff without a parachute or jumping out of a plane without a parachute, that's a dumbass risk.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, versus I got a parachute on
And it
I
just don't open.
I wanna jump off just to clear something from my bucket list, but I got a parachute on, and this parachute is packed correctly, and I know that parachutes work because
I'll take
I've seen
that
it.
risk.
So let me go ahead and take. I just can't be afraid to take this risk because I want to clear it off my bucket list. So
Yeah.
I can't be afraid. Let me just go ahead and do it because I know parachutes do work.
Yeah.
Versus not having a parachute at all. That's a dumb risk.
That's a dumb risk.
I'm still not taking a risk at this age with a parachute. Too many people dying and jumping. Man, no. I don't understand why people just do it. I mean, okay. Anyway, this is a really good one. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Of course.
Learn from your mistakes.
Don't do the same thing twice.
This one actually falls in the line of don't be afraid to take risk. Embrace challenges. Again, that's age. I'm sorry, that's age related. Embrace challenges. Some challenges I'm not willing to risk, especially if
you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but whether you know it or not, you challenged every day.
True.
There's a challenge you face every day.
True.
So why not challenge? Why not be ready for challenges?
What I mean is, okay, so going to the gym, right? So they have the new different exercises that you do, and they have the exercise challenge, right? I know that I'm not 22 no more, right? I ain't that 22-year-old spring chicken to do all those exercises. So it's not a challenge. Some challenges like that, exercise related, because, we older. Our bones going to take forever to heal.
Yeah.
We get hurt. So it's not, do it to an extent, but once I ain't finna. Don't give up. Yep. I'm giving up because I'm too old. So I'm not finna run my chest out of my. You know. Back in the day, we would run to our damn chest feel like it's finna pop out. We not finna run till we feel like our chest finna pop out at this age.
A physical
we can't
challenge.
run to that point.
That's what I'm saying.
A physical challenge. No.
Yeah. Like something physical, anything that's
Yeah.
dealing with my health. I'll do this, man. And I promise you, I'm good. I want to live a little longer. I mean, I understand that you're trying to help.
Well, you got to be smart about the challenges you embrace.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
So, I mean, come on. Some of that stuff is like common sense. If you know you can't deadlift 200 pounds or
Right.
250 pounds,
Right.
why the fuck you even getting up in there? Because
That's what I'm talking about.
physically, you know that's damn near impossible. You got to work
Right.
your way up to being able to do that.
Right.
So now, if you want to embrace the challenge to be able to lift 200 pounds, deadlift 200 pounds, then you got to work your way up to be able to do that. So let me start with 50 pounds, and let me do 50 pounds until I get strong enough to do 75 pounds, and then 75 pounds until I get strong enough to do 100 pounds, and eventually you'll be able to lift 200 pounds. That's you embracing your challenge.
Challenge. But that's a different challenge. That's a gradual challenge.
No, that's you embracing the goal of reaching 200 pounds. There's steps to it, though.
Right. That's the
You just
difference.
can't get up under there
And
and
just do
do
it.
200. There's step to it. So you've embraced in your mind,
I agree.
you know what? I'm going to lift this 200 pounds.
All right.
Like setting a short-term goal.
I agree. Okay. All right. Learn from your mistakes.
You just did
Yeah,
that.
we did.
I
that.
did learn. We did say that. I'm sorry.
Did
Sorry,
you learn
sorry.
from your mistakes?
I just learned. Yeah, y'all told me right away. Well, we learned from your mistakes. Okay.
And said don't do the same thing twice.
I know, right? Don't compare yourself to others. That's what I was supposed to say. Don't compare yourself to others.
That's good advice.
That's good advice.
Yeah,
I
I had
agree.
a
Be yourself.
I had a pastor. It was Houston First Baptist Church. He said the biggest sin is the sin of comparison. I said, man, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. That makes sense. The sin of comparison, comparing yourself. Oh, I ain't got this kind of money, but this person got 2 houses, sold 7 cars, but
Right.
you can't do that.
So it's a sin to compare yourself?
Well, that's what the pastor said, but it makes sense because it's kind of you hitting kind of vanity, and at the same time you also hitting envy.
Well, and jealousy is
And
all,
jealousy. Jealousy and envy and vanity.
There's a fine line, and I'm going to tell you why I say that.
Uh-huh.
Because you may not be, if you're comparing yourself to someone based upon some superficial
Material
stuff, some
shit.
material
Right.
things, then I understand that. But if there's someone who inspire you,
Right.
and you know that, I
Inspiration
wish
to
I
you.
could speak like Barack
Right.
Obama.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
Right.
man, I can't speak like him. That's a form of comparing yourself to him, but you're inspired by it. So what do? You go take speech class.
Correct.
Because you want to be able to speak like
like
Barack Obama.
Right.
So, and learn the cadence and all of these things. And so it's kind of, it depends on what you're trying to what you're comparing to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
With that, that he just showed, I agree all the way with that. You know,
Okay. All right. Couple more here. Live in the present.
yeah, you better.
I can see that. I understand when they say live in the present. However, I
Yes.
think that there's nothing wrong with being present and thinking about your future.
Exactly.
So
Well, yeah, because you have to be
And-
in the present to think about the
Yeah,
future. You can't
and-
be in the past. Think
and
about the future.
I don't think that there's nothing wrong with reflecting
On the past.
on the
Yeah, there
past.
you go.
So, yeah, I get it. Live in the present. You know what I'm saying? But
Not only that, I want to think about the future too. So,
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I want to think
so
about the
I
future.
don't know. I'm kind of.
I'm kind of iffy on that one too. I'm with you on that too. That one's we're gonna put that one. I'm on the fence with that one. Be grateful.
Yeah,
I'm grateful every day I wake up. I
For
thank
everything
every
you have?
Morning, yeah, every morning I wake up. Thank you, God, because He didn't have to do it. Be grateful. And the last one here. Spend time with loved ones.
Yeah, that's
a
good
must.
idea. That's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
Uh-huh.
just depending on your family,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that you spend time, especially with immediate family.
Yeah, especially we're older.
Yeah, because you're getting older, and it's less time to spend with them now.
Exactly.
So you have to spend as much as you can. So yeah, I think that's something we should go by. Spend more time with your family. Some people don't even know they family.
Yeah,
You know what I
People
mean?
don't have family.
Some people
some
don't
people
have
don't have
family.
family. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that at the age we are, you want to, because as we getting older, you get those calls, man.
Right.
Somebody just
Yeah.
died. Somebody just
Right.
died,
You
somebody
always
died.
see something or you hear something.
You know, I'm surprised you didn't ask, is there something that we live by, or some good advice that we've given to others, or good advice that we've received from others? I'm surprised you didn't ask that, comedian 96.
I know, man. You know what? I'm
But
slipping.
he was getting ready to go there, but I think,
I'm about to kick somebody off the bus. That's what it is.
okay, you got to kick somebody off the bus.
Yes, sir.
Who we kicking off the bus?
Hey, I got some advice, man. That well, it. I don't know if you guys were given it prior to going into the military, but were y'all told don't bring them home if they can't use your comb?
Boy, you crazy, man. I forgot all about that. I remember my mom.
You know what? I never really heard that saying, but that's kind of crazy though. If they can't use your comb, don't bring them home.
You never heard that
So
before?
so let me ask you, would that be a form of racism?
Kind of
Yeah.
similar,
I would
similar
think
to
so.
racism.
It gotta be. Yeah, it gotta be.
You know, our parents were scarred, so they wanted to make sure we wouldn't.
Yeah, then too, our parents was born back in the time.
Exactly.
You know,
And that's-
You're
I
right.
think that's
no rights.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy, because don't Hispanics and white girls have the same kind of coarse kind of hair? And
I mean, everybody except black people got the same kind of hair. Damn near.
Exactly. And I had a Hispanic girl. She used to use my comb more than I did. So, but anyway, before I close out, man, kick somebody out the bus, man, y'all have any advice that y'all have given or was given and that y'all want to talk about?
Man, I could give you one. I always say, don't open the door for strangers. That's the best advice I can give a motherfucker, man.
I got one, man.
What's that?
Do what you can, and God will do what you can't.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's deep. That's deep. Freddie G, you got one?
I do, man. Advice that I've been given, but I've been given so many
Right.
different types of advice on different situations. But I want to share something I mentioned to you guys on one of our shows. It's one of my actual quotes, and I really believe this. I really, really, truly in my heart believe this. And that is, if you can make a positive impact on a total stranger, then you planted the seed to change the world.
I like that.
Yeah, I
That's
like
another
that.
deep one. Y'all hitting us with the deep ones, boy. I tell you. Somebody here. Sound like the bus. That means somebody gotta go. Today, y'all, we kicking off. Guess who?
Oh,
Senator Ted Cruz.
okay.
You know, this number one, he allowed Donald Trump to talk negative about his family, his wife, and he still was kissing Donald Trump's ass. Y'all knew that?
Still kissing their ass. Yeah.
Man,
You know,
crazy, man.
and then number two, when we experienced that hard freeze, remember we had that hard freeze
Yeah.
back? He dipped out. He fleed over to Cancun and tried to throw it on his children, tried to put his children under the bus on that.
Yeah, he go
Wow.
where the weather nice and warm and all that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Allegedly. Allegedly he did that. And that's crazy. I don't know how true it is, but allegedly he flew to Cancun or wherever the hell he was.
He flew to Cancun.
He flew to Cancun.
Allegedly. And finally, you remember when they had that storm at the Capitol on January 6th?
Yeah.
And he had his rival, his Democrat Colin Alred, the Democrat Colin Alred.
Yeah.
He stayed and was there prepared to fight and everything, right? This man then ran and hid up in a mop closet like a coward. Man, Senator Ted Cruz, get your ass off the bus. That's our show for today. Peace.
This concludes our show for today, and if you haven't done so already, follow us on X at 52 Scott Podcast, also IG and Facebook at the 52 Scott Podcast. Also, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Black Friday.